Assalamu alaikum students and teachers. This is Sir Abid Kazmi with another video on dividing fractions. Well, you must have experienced this that when maths come to our daily life, it is much more easier to understand because in real life context, mathematics become more sense making. So we are going to use the real life context in this video so the division of fraction could be more sense making for us and we can easily grasp the concept of it. So let's start the video, but I would like to give you one suggestion in the start. Whenever the real life situation will be given in the video will paused only for 5 seconds. But you are supposed to keep the video paused unless you do not make any solution on your own of the given situation because mathematics is all about thinking. Now, without any further delay, let's start the video. Here you have your first mathematical situation that you need to solve on your own. I have 5 liters of milk in my refrigerator. How many of my family members can drink the milk if we want to drink one glass, which is 1/4 of a liter? Okay, I have 5 liters of milk. Just to represent this visually, I am using 5 equal piece of papers. Now I know that in one glass I have 1/4 of a liter, which means this. I have divided this whole piece in quarter part and representing this as a glass of milk. Now I need to know how many glass of milk do I have in all of these 5 pieces. You can see that in the first piece I can take 4 glass of waters because 4 quarters make one whole. Similarly, I can divide all of these 5 in quarters to see how many glass of water I have. And I can answer that 20 members can drink the milk because we have 20 glasses of water in 5 liters. Great. It is a simple version of mathematical situation. Now let me show you with mathematical statement you have solved behind this mathematical situation. So this is a mathematical question that you have solved. 5 divided by 1/4, because when we solve 5 divided by 1/4, it is same as we are finding how many quarters are in 5 wholes. So if you understand the meaning of division, you can relate it to the real life context. So whenever you are doing with the fraction, you are actually looking for this part, that how many of this part will be in this whole or in this fraction. Great. Now let me give you another problem to solve on your own. Fatma adds 2/3 spoon of chocolate powder to make her favorite brownie. How many brownies can she bake if she has 4 spoons of chocolate powder? Okay, since Fatma has 4 spoons of chocolate powder, so using 4 pieces of papers to represent spoons of chocolate powder, right? Now, like she adds 2/3 of a spoon, like that means she are using thirds. So first I am finding how many total thirds do I have in 4 holes. So we are dividing each of these holes in thirds like this. Great. Now I need to know she will add 2/3 for each brownie like this. So this is how she will be consuming her chocolate powder. So she have consumed 2/3 of a spoon for the first brownie. She will use the second 2/3 part of 4 holes for the second brownie. Similarly, they will do like this. So you can see that if she keeps on using 2/3 of a spoon and if she has 4 spoons of chocolate powder, so she have total 6 brownies. That's wonderful. Now again related to a mathematical questions we have solved like this. 4 divided by 2/3, because we are looking for how many 2/3 are in 4 wholes. So whenever we are looking for how many of such things are in another thing, how many of that part, that means we are doing division, right? Okay, now before we start conclusion, let me give you another situation. The mechanic recommends us to ride 4 kilometers before he starts riding at the normal speed. If he could ride only 4/5 kilometers in a day, how many days does he need to ride slowly? Okay, since Asad needs to write 4 kilometers, so we are using 4 pieces of papers to represent 4 equal kilometers. Now if he writes 4/5 kilometer in a day, so that means he are riding in fifth parts of the kilometers. So we are dividing the 4 kilometers in parts of fifths like this. Great. So now we have how many total fifth parts do we have in 4 holes, and we know that he rides 4 kilometers in a day. So on the first day he will ride these 4 parts which are 4/5 part of a hole of a 1 kilometer. Great. Then next 4/5 part of a kilometer, and he keeps on riding day after day, and you can see after fifth day his journey of 4 kilometers will be completed if he rides 4/5 of a kilometer in a day. That means he needs 5 days. Great. And the mathematical statement that relates to this mathematical situation is 4 divided by 4/5, or how many 4/5 are in 4 wholes. Great. So this is how we can relate mathematical question to real life and solve them using manipulatives with the piece of paper as I am doing. But we cannot always use the piece of paper. We have to observe certain patterns that we can use for the future questions. So now let's do that part now. Suppose you have this question, 3 divided by 2 sixths. That means you are looking for how many 2 sixth parts are in 3 holes. So let's first what we do, we take 3 holes like this, and then what we do, we divide the whole parts in parts according to the denominator of the fraction, because we are going to look how many 2 sixth parts are there. So for the first step we are finding how many total sixth parts do I have. So if we divide like this, so I can see I have 6 parts here. In the first hole I have six parts. In the second and third hole always I have a six parts. So if I ask you how many total sixth parts do I have in 3 holes, you will ask me to simply add these parts, 6 plus 6 plus 6, and we always have same repeated addition in this situation, because we always divide holes in equal number of parts, like 6 here, 6 and 6. So we can convert this repeated addition to a multiplication sentence for an easy handling, like 3 times 6. Great. Next what we do, we make groups of these sixth parts using 2. We means that we are making 2/3, like we are looking for how many group of 2/3 do we have, like, so we divide it like this. So what we do, we divide in groups of 2. So what we do, we make groups of 2. So when we make groups we always do division. That means first we multiply by 6 to make how many sixth parts do I have, and then I divide them in groups of 2 to see how many 2 sixth parts do I have, that you can count easily that there are 2 sixth parts in 3 holes. So now if you look at these steps, so I can relate this situation to this for making sense like this. Let's make a sense. Okay, you can see that the both are equal, because when we were using manipulatives, so we were doing these steps. Great. So you can see a wonderful result here, that when we divide a fraction, we can convert to a multiplication. And what happens? You can easily observe that our second fraction has flipped over. Like 6 has become the numerator and 2 has become the denominator now. So if we want to divide any fraction, we can convert to a multiplication by flipping the second fraction. It is an easy approach. We can apply it to even larger numbers. But before we start using it, let's see whether it works for all fractions. Let's see. I suppose you to apply the method we have just observed or not use the manipulatives. Okay, so if you want to solve this using the pattern we observed, we convert the division sign to a multiplication with a flipped fraction, like 3/4 will become 4/3, right? Now we can do a multiplication with numerators, which become 20, 5 times 4 equals 20, and then we divide with 3. So when we divide 20 with 3, so we'll get 6 wholes and 2/3. Great. Now this is the answer that we have got using the pattern we have observed. Just to verify whether it works, I am solving this question within manipulatives as well. Taking 5 wholes, dividing in fourth parts, that how many fourth parts do I have? So I have 20 fourth parts. Now I'm making groups of 3. So here I have, and you can see that this answer verifies that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 whole parts, right? 6 whole groups of 2/3, 3/4, and this is not a complete part. This is 2 parts out. We are making groups of 3 and we have 2, so we will write this as fraction 2/3, and here we have 6 wholes. So you can see that both of the methods gives us the right answer. That means the pattern we have observed works, which is wonderful. Now you can just start practicing using this fraction. What this pattern or procedure is, just convert division to a multiplication and flip the second fraction. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you had fun, and now the division of fraction make a lot of sense to you. Thank you.